in about 9 districts across the southern part of the country.
The overflow from Akosombo and Bong dams has rendered numerous communities homeless. Our Dewekome in the central Tong district has been completely engulfed by the floodwaters. Currently, over 2,000 residents have sought refuge in Bakba, leading to the temporary closure of schools and health facilities. Togbi Sapiti, the Dufia of Bakba, our Dewekome, is making a heartfelt plea to the government to empower the National Disaster Management Organization to provide sufficient relief items to the affected communities.
We need a lot of things, mattresses. We need a temporary resettlement, or they should give us a resettlement. We have the land. Anyone who wants to help us, we are ready to give them the land to assist us. Corporate organizations to come to our aid with cement, we are ready to build it ourselves. So please, our school is no more in session.
The assembly member for the areas, Simon Kumachi, says government must make appropriate arrangements to ensure that children can resume their education.
Evacuated to Bakba Alabanyu, the safe haven, and we are managing our life at that place. Yeah, and what I can say is friends, NGOs and other benevolent societies, organizations were visiting us, supporting us with the little they have, and we are managing our life over there.
The Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Kumar Boaje, who also visited the area, has pledged to ensure that flood-affected residents receive psychological support and adequate health care to help them cope with the trauma caused by the floods.
This water is going to contaminate all the other waters. You are going to have feces mixed up with your water. Not only that, your livestock are displaced, other wild animals are also displaced, and they all pose a major threat, not only to you, but also to the health of the environment.
Alex Gabi Hotoje is Member of Parliament for Central Tong.
This is a whole island, but we have a creek within it, which is not full to the brim as a result of the spillage. So we are here. This is our document for you, and it's part of my constituency. It's an island, it's wholly surrounded by water, and within it you still have creeks.
Meanwhile, the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana, under the leadership of National President Dr. Samuel Okodonko, toured some of the affected areas and handed over relief items, including medical supplies, valued at over 100,000 Ghana cedis.
Let's moderate this. Is that okay? Yes. And you want to solve this? Is it advisable that we just na tabe okay quick work permanent kiale long work permanent flat work permanent happiness na our door let exercise book come. The answer is no. But in the exercise book, if I get you, what you tell us?
Pay attention. So we are saying that in every equation, what are the left?
Oh God, we need help. Look at our houses. Look at people's house. Eh? God, help us. We need help, bro. We need help. Eh? Oh, me to mi kwela. Mi kwale shi trap yo wa. Mi kwale shi chomi o de dua. Awe ho ana femienu lo. Mi zu homeless. Yesu. Femienu pa makpa. Aw.
We looked at the inundation map. We saw that if you should open the gate to our calculation, the amount of water that should be open to save the dam, the whole community is going to be flooded. So we started with a control scaling of 20,000 cubic feet, September 15, to inform the people that the water is coming. So please start moving. Before the gate was open, our BI staff and national members were on the ground informing and monitoring the levels of the water as it spread through the community. There was no report of any damage, but the water was going. In number 2, so that the water coming is still going to break the dam. You have to go to 30,000, then went to 50, then went to 70. When you got to 70, we saw that the water was receding. We took a decision that we have to reduce the gate from the 70 downwards. The next day that we were going to reduce the discharge from the dam, there was a few tenders from that. The lake that fell directly into the dam, directly.
My visit here today is a very simple one. It is to come and sympathize and commiserate with you about the tragedy that has occurred. When it happened, I was in America on official business, and the chief of staff called me in America about what had happened, and we discussed what had to be done. So that's when we agreed to establish an interministerial committee to coordinate government response to this tragedy. And the coordination is about immediate, about tomorrow, and about tomorrow. The most important thing was, first of all, to ensure the life of people. And that is why 9 centers were established here in Mepe for all the displaced people. And the people, all the people in these 9 centers have been provided relief items by NADNO. And it's NADNO's intention to continue the exercise of providing relief items. So apart from what NADNO is doing, we have also to think about the future. I'm aware that you are farming people. The people who are farming on the banks of the rivers, river banks that have overflown and destroyed many of the farms. So one of the things that the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Finance, and the Office of the President is going to be working with the District Assembly is to decide exactly the nature of the support we have to give to you when the water has gone away, to enable you to do the farming. This is why I'm saying that the committee is working in several phases. One, immediate relief, and then tomorrow. But I want you to know that the government is going to do everything in its powers to assist, to make sure that things are all right. I think everybody here, and I hope you take the message all across, North Tongu, South Tongu, Central Tongu, that when these things happen and government acts, politics does not come into the matter at all. When I took the oath of office as president, I took the oath of office as president of every single individual in Ghana, of all peoples in Ghana, all districts. And whether they voted for me or not, once I have taken the oath, I am the president of all the people. So Toby, you and your elders, I want the people here, you, beginning with you and the elders, to understand that when something like this happens and government acts, government is acting for Ghanaians, all Ghanaians. I came here because Ghanaians are having difficulties and are suffering. And it is my responsibility to try and help. Because if it's a question of counting who votes for me and who doesn't vote for me, I shouldn't be here because you don't vote for me. But that is not my concern. And in any event, one day you will vote for me and my party.
Certainly brings up the issue of our building code and how we enforce it. And definitely there is a lot of negligence in terms of how we build, especially high-rise buildings. And so we're going to have to put in place a mechanism to check the safety and security of other high-rise buildings and find out if there are any more of such disasters waiting to happen. As you know, Ghana is an earthquake-prone zone, and so if this building just collapsed like that, I mean, if we get a tremor that is above a certain magnitude, how many more buildings won't come down? That is a question that we need to look at and face. But we set up a task force to deal with this current emergency, and our focus now is on rescuing people and getting people out alive. I think that the other medium to long-term measures we shall take, but whoever are responsible for this negligence will have to pay a price for what.
Nyajo e of you le classroom preacher sike na be school you to that all the school la no dia in bane you about to come within 2 weeks like I work for sike you wa I'm feeling nebe echiengu kobola ni akonu kamia wa ne o temane kina ni aton afri aton ada se school ko no school viola wa komo ai de school apeneni.
We have been faced with a colossal tragedy, a tragedy of biblical proportion, an absolute devastation.
This road contract will be given to you, provided you put 1 million upfront, or not that when you get your money. Then, and this is what Akufo-Addo must be thinking about, and if he knows about it, must be ashamed of. That now his people demand from you a certain amount before you be considered for the job. Why? Because then when they get it, whether the government pays you or not, they have gotten their money. As if people are in a hurry to loot the country before the end of Akufo-Addo's term. One of the greatest disappointments of Nana Akufo-Addo's regime is that honestly, he raised the hope of Ghanaians. Ghanaians expected that we had gotten the leader with a vision, with the charisma, with the determination. And it seems if he doesn't redeem himself in the next 14 months, he will go down in history of one of the most disappointing leaders. And what the corruption, the arrogance, they think that there is Ghana is for them, and that without them Ghana would not be there. Even some of them thinking that they should tell us who should be our next president. God forbid. The nurses.
last week na me ni ha. Say MPP let away. Control let away ba ha. So when who let away? What kind?
Last week, Bulldog kind life.
Who can let away? Yes. Okay.
Very useless letter.
I agree with you. Control let away the Baha. Reform United Showbiz program. Nipa no control let away na. And you know natural here. Obi natural or signing him say one kind. Nipa na need share minimum no. Onim nyansa. Whoever wrote this, I'm saying it be a pressure. I don't say no more year or hand it be a pressure. I will just give him the benefit because meaning nipa no control nipa na ya tro ni din wa ha as your friend is saying William Yeboah meaning no. Onye no control let away. Obi am the phone. Mo MPP Google article 162 1992 Constitution. Google 1624. Kan ade I draw. So we Google now kan sa ade na. Beso so create ankasa no kan na ho so be kan man 1624. 162. We dey call 162 na kan 4 no. Say then I draw. Or say you reforming United Showbiz program, and this is coming from a political party. We are sana who
1624
162
editors, publishers of newspapers and other institutions of mass media shall not be subject to control or interference by government, nor shall they be penalized or harassed for their editorial opinion and views or the content of their publications.
Fine, no problem. This for now kind no all kind of speed. But so what kind of Ghana 40 as now say nipa no kind let away no or trolls how they do it. This is a political party telling us to reform this program that we do. And this is what the Constitution of Ghana is saying. Read it for
editors and publishers of newspapers and other institutions of the mass media shall not be subject to control or interference by governments, nor shall they be penalized or harassed for their editorial opinions and views or the content of their publications.
Yeah, aban emrana ema MPP ye party to me operate wo krom ha. Emrana ema Nana Akufo-Addo to me ye president of Ghana no. Samba ya true mo say ye wo hey. No political party can interfere in what we are doing here. I'm talking
about
this political party as MPP. So now I'm coming. Now this letter that they have written is stating that Yema MPP for kwine mo mba show so mbe kan on adwen. As you say show you yetisu wo hey. Mr. Logic, a strong MPP man. Every day he's speaking for MPP. But you know the reason why Omo complain say MPP for Maha because Mr. Logic speaks for Kennedy Japan. So Kennedy Japan is not seen as what the party is looking at doing. And when you continue doing stuff like this, this is what will make people say that the whole party is set up into a certain direction at this point. And these people are the people who are making the job of the government very, very difficult. As for me, apart from my personal interest, which of course I will state clearly any day, anywhere, I will never speak like ABSA Yebaha say, me sha tadi free fear ba say me be can in favor of Nana Akufo-Addo, and I will not do it. I will never do it.
I will do it.
Yeah, that is you. I will never do that one because Akufo-Addo will not be there for me, and I will not be there for it. But maybe I say I'm minister say bibi e no kura ameka. Yeah, campaign na yeba aben mu no. Akufo-Addo wa ni krom kwan yin, me krom ufi awonbo konso ayemu kwan from Winneba to Agunasuedo kwan ye. Nti krom fo hu say wa betena ha. Some be defend about my dream say be my dream coming. Nti no like me betena ha. Say me be kan asema ma aban no. Eno ye one. Number 2, you have an information ministry with 2 deputies. This government has an information ministry with 2 deputies. If you have an information ministry with 2 deputies, and you cannot sell what your projects and your programs, and you want United Showbiz as a platform for you, you have the funny part is that the Ministry of Information has a government spokesperson at the Ministry of Information, you still want to make Kanwasema Ghana for
7 years.
Apart from that, Obi or Pebiano, Onkofa report on presidential staff in 2020. Obi or Obibiano, Mamcho Adebi, Ade or Ghana.
But
okay. Menche, Oko, your friend saying, Oko, your friend saying, chapter 14 of report we ade ayatro woni me kan 14 ka kra bi me bubo positions bi achiro na mako 15 14 no ye wo ade kra wo hifa okay, national report any I'm sure me space
yo
bacho meba
yo
se wokọ ọmampani atena ya enipa omo ho a edwuma omo beyama aban in terms of communication me aminu Jefferson Saki or your deputy director communication president secretariat your deputy director communication vice president your deputy director communication president secretariat on your friend Yusuf Bibi Kofi Christopher or your deputy director of communication vice president your over 16 abehe your technical communication and assistant your friend Habib your Tahir or your technical communication assistant Joshua technical communication assistant George Kumi technical communication assistant Francis Odo technical communication assistant Meneke no Foyata nam Chebia Papa mu nyina ni ho mu nyina mu technical communication assistant mu gu flat staff house mbe edwuma abo aban ma kira aban ne ekọ obi abetena ha say wakotrol letter we e di abaha say United Showbiz any baby a we betumi atro na letter we e metan because unu adekodinti a yen yatena fie ha and you receive some calls be say ye begu UTV United Showbiz hey UTV omom 90% MPP for na unu baby adeti ye yade na ye ha no unam krom no mu hye so mo yade pa makola former o kan hye form is the go on executive despite Mr. Sapon omo na fofo nyina no bebre na MPP for omo hye omo san boy abaso because omo sade ye no eye papa sa letter we MPP for mu ade we a time then we will attack you more and obi mamu ntro biem letter fun so letter fun mo bi antro so letter bio you cannot nobody in this country can letter bio you cannot papa so letter we MPP for mu ade we a time then we will attack you more and obi mamu ntro biem letter fun so letter from Mobian Cross you cannot nobody in this country can decide what we do on this show, especially when the president of Ghana is an astute lawyer and somebody who believes in the rule of Mom Cross ADBM. Okay. Before your mama or son and some more pentatia a osophagus modia young wine and
come. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Come. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Come. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
Secondly, this government has borrowed more money than all previous governments put together did in 52 years. I ask, as all of us must ask, Sikano Ewahi. Sikano Ewahi. Sikano Ewahi.
Mubehu Nyamiadum said a petrol board beba form. Mubehu Nyamiadum said the transport fares so a beba form. Na niema boso beba form because of new policies are yedeba. Nyamiadum Mespesa Ubia nya aboteri because we are going to implement something different, something new, and a depreciation of the currency and also abba form.
He'll bring it to bear. We are vice president. You head the economic management committee of the country. Into economic policies now will be driven by you, and I say you will be directed by you. Into I know say he's competent in that area. He's got the focus. He's got the mindset. He's got the experience in macroeconomics, and even as a general academician. He'll bring it to bear. We are vice president. You head the economic management committee of the country. Into economic policies now will be driven by you, and I say you will be directed by you. Into I know say he's competent in that area. He's got the focus. He's got the mindset. He's got the experience in macroeconomics, and even as a general academician.
Look at the economic management team. It is quite clearly a fantastic team. Professor Jambafo, Dr. Akotose, Dr. Afriye Akoto, Honorable Alain Chiremanting, Boachi Ejaku, Ken Oforiata, Senior Minister Yao Osafo Mafu. What a solid team. In fact, can anyone remember the NDC economic management team? I'm sure they themselves cannot remember who their economic management team was. Kukrudu, fellow Kukrudites, we were elected to fix the problems, and I'm glad to report that we are fixing the problems and we are putting in place the policies that will drive the economic transformation of this country. It is very clear that the economy is beginning to respond to the policies of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo.
Yeah, thank you very much. You have specifically mentioned corruption within the taxation system. What exactly will you do to stamp this out?
The measures are going to be difficult, but there have to be a variety of them. Including what I call the ANAS principle. Setting up highly motivated professional groups of young people who will work, if you like, as it were, undercover to unearth examples of corruption wherever they can find it, and thereby allow the authority to deal with the issue. Because not only do you unearth the corruption, but you actually deal with it in terms of sending people to court, prosecuting them. Hopefully the courts will cooperate and make sure that the offenders are found guilty and sanctions appropriately enforced. So a variety of measures, but a key one is the ANAS principle, as well as, of course, what you do to securize those who are in the tax collecting agencies.
In this country, President Akufo, member will show down. Vice President, member will show down. So, Mama chasing me agent. I'm not going to shut them. What do you embassy? What do you embassy? Yes, me challenge President Akufo at any time.
Musuro Dr. Baumia Sano. Yes, sir. Because Omunyina nimse me bejina wa member Omu showdown.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our job, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
If you reach a certain stage in life and there is nobody who can look you in the eye and tell you the truth, you are doomed. And that is where our country has gotten to. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. And I feel very terrible as a Ghanaian at this time. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. Inshallah.
Please don't cry.
We shall rescue our country.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Right, hello, good morning, and welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. It's a Tuesday, the 31st day of October 2023. In fact, it's the last day of the 10th month of the year. By His grace, we're alive and we're here with yet another edition of the show. Our gratitude will go to the Most High God for the rare privilege of being alive and, of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making the rounds here in our dear Republic. I'll let you into our panel for the morning's conversation shortly. But let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. $450 million manganese refinery set for Nsuta. Trading Inspectors Commission to enforce standards. Media rules should go beyond the rhetoric. EC chairperson. VRA ends spillage. Presec Legon wins 8th National Science and Maths quiz. And Stop Capping Get Fund, Dr. Abe. So I made it to the front page of the Daily Graphic. Okay. So that was my speech at the speech and prize giving day of Accra Academy. Okay. So Ghanaian Times. Let's fight terrorism together in West Africa. President appeals to sub-regional leaders. OSP ends work on alleged corruption case against Charles Adubuain. In Kwanta violent clashes. 7 arrested. Police chase other suspects. Road contractors parry 1 million Ghana cedis contract bribe claim. Daily Guide. We never offered Ken $800 million. Baumia team. We are not above criticism. Jean Mensah. Military deployed to Nkwanta over ethnic clash. OSP clears Adubuain of ANAS corruption in court. The New Crusading Guide. Baumia refutes Kenya Japan's $800 million bribe allegation. Rationalize energy generation mix for Ghanaians to benefit. Koseka to government. Government to allocate funds for Volta Dam spill victims in 2024 budget. Ghanaians welcome decision. Engineering November 4 NPP polls to favor one candidate will not foster unity. Efri Akoto. OSP falters Charles Adubuain for influence peddling. Private lotto operators, agents reject payment of 300 million cedis to NLA. Eastern Regional NDC tackles rail line robberies. The Insight. Global food crisis. Russian ambassador writes on how the West is squeezing Africa in his new article titled Ukraine and Russia and Africa's Foreign Policy. Demonstration in support of Palestine. Please, Socialist Movement Ghana agree on route for mass action. Clement Jato faces accusation of using government authority to demolish properties in Accra. Save Ghana movement will reduce crude oil drastically and fix all cocoa roads, claims Desmond Kwame Abrefa. Justice Vida Kotobanfo, retired North Family Head of Nidodu Clote family of Pokwasi, says Principal Elder. The Daily Statesman. OSP clears Eduboyan of criminality in Galamsey economy. Manya Krobo chief eulogizes MCE. Koseka advocates support for ECG. EU presents 105 militarized vehicles to Ghana. The Finder. Eduboyan did not breach any law. Investigation is closed. OSP. I'm deeply honored. Erastus Asaridonko. Congratulations, Erastus. Internal restructuring of ECG must precede any PSP. Koseka. Dr. Akoto cautions against manipulations and favoritism. Baumia campaign refutes Kennedy Japan's $800 million offer allegation. Daily Post. Ibrahim Mahama and Jata Cement donate to 12,500 homes in Oti region, Bono East and Afram Plains constituencies. Atugube's comments affirm our position that Kwesin's trial was persecution, Amakofi Boa. Dr. Baumia fingered in a rail line theft scandal. It is written, so that's how it's written. 8 is written. Presec Legon secures 8th victory as National Science and Math Quiz champions. Economy Times, 2023 budget. Major stakeholders want tax reforms. ADB loses financial solidity. Capital adequacy ratio drops to -1%. Oh. Ghana to end 2023 with 99% debt to GDP ratio. That's according to Fitch. And that's about it. For the front pages, we'll be back shortly.
Ready for something refreshing and great tasting? For your kids' enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
For your graduation enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
Beach hangout?
Angel Cola.
For all your refreshing moments?
Angel Cola.
For your parties, get-togethers, events, and celebrations, enjoy a chilled bottle of Angel Cola.
Radio Grandma, today is your day. Over to you.
Thank you.
Enjoyment Cola.
Angel Cola.
The Enjoyment Cola. Enjoy all your moments and fun time with Angel Cola. This advert is FDA approved.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I'm a fair missy way.
The Pacho Bantama.
Matias. It's her smile.
The fresh breath.
Me, Jidi said we use Cal 360 toothpaste. Same kind. Cal 360 toothpaste.
That's Kia. Cal 360 toothpaste.
It's a gum protector. Kel 360 did the way. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
You so feeling ye. Kel 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Kel 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Betway is your gateway to a theme park full of gaming excitement. A whirlpool of wonder where your favorite games come to life. Where you can take to the skies with max payouts that reach into the millions. All in the palm of your hand. Visit betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Betway is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Bet responsibly. Betway. Bet your way.
To help meet your business and private printing needs successfully, we have just the right products and services. At Appointed Time Printing Limited, we specialize in digital printing, offset
Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and elevators, the elevator people.
In life, choice is good, but choice plus safety is way better. Your safety and comfort is paramount. Under the cylinder recirculation model, you can buy LPG in a safe environment. All cylinders are inspected and maintained to the best safety standards, so your safety is assured. Just take your empty cylinder to the nearest exchange point and swap it for a filled cylinder. Different cylinder sizes will be available to meet your pocket size. Imagine cooking in a smoke-free environment. This will improve the health and well-being of you and your family. Choose LPG in a safer model of distribution. Cylinder recirculation model. Securing your safety. Creating more jobs. A message from the National Petroleum Authority under the patronage of the Ministry of Energy.
Inside Black Star Press Limited, grow inside the inventive minds, evolving concepts, and the creative trends. The printing press you need now. Witness the beauty, diversity, and natural wonder with our works. Inside Black Star Press Limited, in association with Lionhead Group of Companies. Call us now on 0200-880-000 for all your print works. Black Star Press Limited, a worldwide reputation for quality printing.
My son, there's more blessing in giving than receiving. When you fear for you and couple the makers in
The pneumatological abrasion of the Lord revealeth unto me this night that me and my household should go out into the world and bless the world.
Makers Electronics Company Limited. Up to 67% discount. Our selected appliances.
This is what I call quintessential immaculatability.
The Makers Electronics Company Limited. Taifa Burkina Highway. Amasama Zongo Junction. At the K Pharmacy Dining. Oyer Fateman Boga Junction. Ashaman Valco Flat. Kumasi. Ahinema Kokobin. Asafu Buachi Hospital Junction. Takradi. Number 9 Market.
Tell mom and dad about the Makers Blessing Attack program
from 0552 222 253 and 0552 222 254. Terms and conditions apply. The same got to move.
Hey, give it to me. Hey, man. Stop! Enough you guys, so continue.
Prepare yourself to unleash even more moolah by staking from 1 Ghana cedi to 350 Ghana cedis. And you could win 26 times your stake on the exciting new Pick 1 game from Game Pack. Play by dialing *946# on all networks via our website or download the Game Pack app on www.gamepackgames.com. Choose your Pick 1 number from 1 to 36. Place your stake
And watch our live draws on Adum TV at 9 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. daily.
Hey, live life like me with Game Park. Game Park, more moolah, more power.
This game is regulated by the National Lottery Authority, not for persons under 18. Play responsibly.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. And with me on the show this morning, I have the Honorable Member of Parliament for the Buem constituency, Kofi Adams. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning, Doc.
Right. Also with me on the show this morning is the Honorable Member of Parliament for the Botiano English Yamanfo constituency, Sylvester Tete. Sly, good morning.
Good morning, Doc.
Right. So, well, the kids are done with their midterms. They're back to school, but brushing their kids sometimes becomes difficult due to resistance because of the taste of the toothpaste available to them. So use Kel Kids toothpaste flavored with strawberry. That gives a perfect taste for kids and makes them develop a personal attitude and love for brushing their teeth always. Kel Kids toothpaste protects child's gum, prevents cavity, and makes the teeth strong and healthy with freshness all day. Kel Kids toothpaste is recommended for children between 2 and 6 years. A product from Samara Company Limited, producers of Sasso, and is approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. Kel Kids, happy smile. And enjoying the fruits of your labor is as important as enjoying the mansions of your labor. The pains of climbing stairs when not exercising could be challenging for all ages, but worry no more. Lifts and elevators have got you covered with the best portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators on the market today. It's a simple self-supported elevator for both homes and offices, and guess what? It can lift your goods too. Wheelchairs can fit in, and they come in 3 custom-made models. It's affordable and can be installed within 3 days. Visit Lift and Elevators at Sakumon, or just call them on 0200535515 or send a mail to elevatorsgh@gmail.com for consultations and the best solutions in easy vertical movement. And why don't you secure your future with Accra Business School? You can boost your career with the prestigious MSc degrees from KNUST, and you can choose from Human Resource Management, Communication and International Marketing, International Relations, Public Affairs, or IT Management. In just 12 months, the MBA can be yours. Dive into the BSc programs in IT Security and Cybercrime, IT Management and Business Management, endorsed by top universities in Ireland and Wales. The Accra Business School offers flexible entry payment and learning options convenient to you. It's time to unlock your potential and take position. Visit www.abs.edu.gh or call the Accra Business School on 0263 888 555 or 0263 888 666. Visit the campus at Spintex Road, Christ Square. Let Accra Business School elevate your future today. And you know, when it comes to health, God is the healer, but He does the healing through humans. And one way to cure ailments is through alternative medicine. And that's when Alternative Medical Hospital comes in. It's one of the best alternative medicine hospitals in Ghana today. So for all your health consultations, counseling, physiotherapy, and homeopathic medicine, Amen Alternative Medical Hospital has the best for you. Amen Alternative Medical Hospital is the first to modernize herbal and homeopathy medicine in Ghana. They have the best medical practitioners from KNUST with the state-of-the-art medical equipment curated for your need. The most obscure ailments can be diagnosed and taken care of. Amen Alternative Medical Hospital is at Klagon on the Lashibi Ashaman Road near the Underbridge. And they open from Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Or call them on 0207-229-505 or 0244-227-192 to book your appointments. Amen Alternative Medical Hospital. God is the healer. And it's the Makers Electronics Blessing Attack promo. Rush to the Makers Electronics Company Limited for up to 67% discount on selected appliances such as Samsung, LG, Moved, Nasco, TCL, Media, and Toshiba. These are quality but affordable electronic appliances with 2 years manufacturer defect warranty. So visit their showrooms at Taifa Burkina Highway, Amasaman Zongo Junction, Oyaifa Tema and Boga Junction, Kaswa New Market, Ashaman Valco Flat, Kumasi Ahinima Kokobe, Intercrade Fiekuma number 9 Market. Or you can reach the Makers Electronics Company Limited on 055-222253 or 055-222254. The Makers Electronics Company Limited, large and in charge of quality but affordable home appliances and consumer electronics. Terms and conditions do apply. All right. So, Kobe, is Parliament back? Are you back from recess?
Andy, Parliament is back today.
Today?
So, yeah, from here, we're going to go. You know, usually we don't sit on Mondays. It's usually from Tuesday to Friday.
So, what happened?
Well, we'll be there this morning, God willing, and we'll consider the business statement for the week. And I've seen the proposed business statements. There are a number of papers to be laid. Of interest to me is the constituencies realignment and creation a CI that will be laid.
What's that?
Is for Guam. The Guam constituency is to be created now. So it's been brought. It was brought before we went on recess. And so all things being equal, before this week ends, that CI should be laid. So when it matures, we can consider Guam constituency as having been created now. So hopefully that in 2024, they will have a member of parliament to represent them.
That's the Sarling Justice.
The Sarling Justice. And the injustice is still there.
The biggest blot
it's the biggest. It's the biggest.
On this
you see,
biggest blot. How we got the Electoral Commission to get away with such impunity and unconstitutional conduct baffles me.
Randy, they feel they have gotten away, but I don't think that they have gotten away. This matter will revisit.
Well, for me, to the extent that a people, 4 traditional areas in this country will not be represented in Parliament on the basis of an administrative fiat by Electoral Commission. I mean, it baffles me.
Randy, it's so serious. So they don't have a voice in Parliament. They don't have a voice in the country. They also are not benefiting in terms of some infrastructural intervention. Because as we sit here, a percentage of monies that should have gone to district assemblies is kept aside and given to members of parliament for some emergency intervention. Because they do not have an MP, they are not benefiting from that, both in terms of GET fund, health insurance, and social intervention fund. So if this come to about even 500,000 every year, that is about 2 million lost to them. And this could have done so much.
I mean, for me, it's a constitutional right for the citizens, for the people in that area. It is not because they were fighting or there is a crisis or an emergency or a disaster there, or it's because they refused to vote or they boycotted an election. But it's because some group of people sat in their office and decided to issue a statement to say that you can only vote in presidential and cannot vote in parliamentary. And we say that we are practicing a democracy and there's rule of law in this country. That's sad. Anyway, is the budget featuring?
Yes, budget. Of course, this meeting is a budget meeting.
Okay.
And so budget is one key thing that we'll be doing, and per the constitutional arrangement, and then per the act, latest 17th of November, the minister is supposed to appear before Parliament and present the budget statement. And so it's featuring. This meeting is called the budget meeting. And but for budget, maybe Parliament could have considered itself as maybe continuing what it is that it's doing. So this is going to be a budget meeting, and budget is the focus.
So we'll come back and deal with some of the things that we expect from the budget. But I'm sure you've also seen snippets of the statement, and I don't know what your expectations are as far as the resumption of Parliament is concerned.
Well, Randy, good morning to you and to my brother Kofi, and to our viewers, more especially the good people of Botian English I'm from. I think that the business statement will be read today when we go to the chamber at 10 a.m. this morning. Then we'll have full details of the week on week. But like Kofi said, basically it's a budget meeting, and then some other government businesses will be brought to the chamber. So obviously the highlight of the meeting is a budget, and we are looking at government policy, of course, that of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. The next one will be budget on account. That will be because of the elections 2024.
What's that?
I mean, this is 2024 budget. So because we're going for elections, we'll have another budget that will be on account, so that upon assumption of a new government, a proper budget
that should be next year.
Next year, a proper budget to be done. So basically, it's a budget meeting. Looking forward for 2024 budget to be ready in November. So there are a few other things that we're hoping that it will come up strongly. The anti-LGBT bill will also feature. The anti-LGBT bill.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it will also feature prominently. There are a number of questions. There are a number of statements that will be made, reports that will be laid for respective committees to deal with. So it's the routine business of government. I believe that there are a number of institutions that are seeking to amend part of their statutes in the way they do their businesses, the acts, and then some allies are also pending. So the unfortunate thing is that we don't start work in earnest as soon as we come. We delay most of these things towards the end of our meeting, and a lot of pressure.
Are you going to break for Christmas?
Yes, of course. We're having a break.
So it means that you probably have to do all these things in about 7 weeks?
Yes, basically.
Whoa.
Basically. Latest by 22nd December, we are off.
Whoa.
Yeah, by 22nd December, we should be off. So
that's like 7 weeks.
Yeah, 7 weeks. It's basically 7 weeks. So it's going to put a lot of pressure on members. Normally, first 2 weeks is statements and questions and all that.
And for some of you, you have primaries to also think about.
Yes, we have primaries. And for us, even in MPP, on Saturday, we have members at their constituencies canvassing for vote for their respective aspirants.
So this week, really?
Yeah, basically, you will not find. I've spoken
from
to
the 138.
Yeah, a couple of people
really?
who are up north with the vice president. They won't be able to come back almost immediately to. And then Saturday is the elections. So if elections are held in your, irrespective of what your stance are on elections, once elections are going to be organized in your constituency, you take a particular interest. Don't forget, February tentatively is a date for our own primaries. So every activity in your constituency matters to you. And that's why you will not find members coming. I was thinking that the leadership could have arranged with the speaker for us to come after 4th of November, so people could have a full concentration on their constituencies. Whether once we are, those of us in Accra obviously have other engagement, but I'll go to Parliament by 2 PM when Parliament closes.
Yours is a bit manageable.
Manageable. Those coming from afar, I doubt, Randy, because today is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So 3 days, they won't probably be here. Yeah. So that's the difficulty we are going to. But of course, to give us opportunity to see the business statement, you know what is in for the week, and then the ensuing week, what we are going to do and all that. So for us, because of the presidential election, very key to us now. I doubt if we have a lot of members who are already in their constituencies coming in this week. But I pray that we will not have last minute rush. It's been, as I'm told by seniors, that it's always been like that. Sometimes we close around 2 a.m. trying to do government business, and it's quite hectic. So I think that is business as usual. You are meeting friends we've not seen in a long while. So
anyway, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm still talking about it's a bit related to the budget, but a release from the VRA yesterday. VRA ends controlled spillage from Akosombo Dam. Says the Volta River Authority wishes to inform the public, particularly residents living along the lower Volta River and its environs, that the controlled spillage from Akosombo Dam, which began on September 15, 2023, has ended. The end of the controlled spillage notwithstanding, VRA is committed to continue its relief and rehabilitation efforts until lives and livelihoods are restored. VRA wishes to take this opportunity to acknowledge the various government agencies and stakeholders for their support to the impacted communities. And this is issued by the Corporate Affairs and External Relations Unit of the VRA. And if you look at the front page of the New Crusading Guide, it says government to allocate funds for Volta Dam spill victims in 2024 budget. You know, that's in there. And we are aware of the finance minister's trip there and his interaction with the MP and other people there. And we know how a lot of public-spirited individuals and companies have gone to the aid and assistance of our brothers and sisters in the Volta region and many other areas outside the Volta region who've been affected. And if you look at the back page of our daily graphic today, it says engineers and planners begins dredging in Mepe and Aveime. That's the back page, and you can actually see the equipment there where they're dredging and rechanneling stagnant water in the Mepe and Aveime communities to hasten the recession of the flood waters. The company is also resurfacing the roads to St. Kizito Senior Technical School, which were damaged by the floods, and this are being financed by Mr. Ibrahim Mama, who's the CEO of the company. We also know what a company like First Sky has done and is still doing. I mean, even building the homes and all that. But the VRA says that the control spillage is ended.
So, I sometimes have a difficulty accepting that what they did was control spillage. Maybe they started it as control, but it ended up just being a spillage. They just spilled. That was what happened at a point, because virtually all the gates were opened. And Randy, it wasn't for anything that the design of the dam was done with slush gates, a number of slush gates. So you could have controlled spillage, and you don't have to spill the way and manner they did. And I will still insist on any platform that VRA could have started this spillage earlier, and they would have then engaged in the appropriate controlled spillage that would have had minimal impact on the people. But because they delayed and allowed so much water to collect beyond a certain level, they were forced to open 8 gates at a time. And so they unleashed huge volumes of water on the people downstream. But what they didn't know also was that even as they held more water beyond a certain level, they were also causing havoc to those in the upper basin of the Volta dam. And that explains why communities like Germany, the entire market and many homes have been swallowed by water, even as we speak till now, because the levels of the water in the dam has increased beyond a certain level. And this effect went all the way to the Pru areas. Pru East, the Sene East, Sene West, and Pru East were all affected. The Oti regions, the Biakoyes, the Krachi East, Krachi West, Krachi Chumuru, and even in Kwanta North and South were all affected because a lot more water was being collected. And knowing how wide the dam area is, you expect this to be happening. And Randy, they started suffering the flooding situation for a very long time now, but just that people were not taking it serious. Attention was not being paid to their cry until the spill happened. And when visits started and the media was showing a lot of interest, then now they began to also speak, and people saw that, hey, the flooding itself was equally also having some impact on some persons. I must say I'm impressed with the public, the response from the public. And it was more like competition in showing empathy and sympathizing with the people. We saw First Sky moved in heavily with even insurance packages and commitment to build some decent havens for them. Then, not long after that, other companies went in. The minority, we went in. The former president went in, and a few other persons also went in. Then, Jata Cement and engineers and planners also went in heavily, touching more than 20,000 affected persons, plus all these other initiatives of dredging and rebuilding some destroyed infrastructure. And I must commend all these individuals and corporate institutions, the media houses that reported, because it is out of that report that touched a lot of persons. They showed vivid images. I'm still worried that the response from government was not the best in this situation. I'm still worried, despite the recent assurance from the Minister of Finance that they will do something. I still think that response from government was so late, even though they had the facts. Because the dam level, Randy, didn't just rise overnight. They saw the trend. They saw it right from June, July. They saw it. That at the end of the year, the level of the dam was way higher than where it has always been at the end of every cycle. So you knew that you had retained more water even before you start receiving fresh water for the new cycle. So it should tell you that you would not be able to collect so much water as you used to do before you hit the level that you should spill. Considering the fact that more rains were experienced in the catchment areas, and we were witnessing floods in all such areas, VRA should normally know that this water will ultimately end in the dam, plus or minus the percentage that will evaporate as a result of temperature, as a result of other agriculture activity, construction activities that will go on along the line. a huge percentage, more than 50% of that will end in the dam. And so it should give you indication that the volume, the dam level is going to rise beyond where it got to in your previous year. So the spilling should have commenced much earlier than it happened. And is government saying VRA kept this information from them? I have my doubt, based on the information I have also collected from some individuals. And that is why I support anyone who call for proper investigation and an inquiry into this matter. There must be serious work done so that persons who are in charge will give us information as to what they did, the alert level that was sent, who received it, who said what, who didn't say what, who didn't act in which way. So appropriately we can identify and not repeat this. Because whether we like it or not, we all know that at the time the dam was constructed, human habitation lower the dam, that's the lower Volta basin, would not be as heavy as it is today. The level of human settlement and other companies that have come in to operate in the lower Volta basin was not as it was in the 60s when the dam was constructed. And so having that at the back of your mind should tell you that you should not allow your dam level to reach a point where you will be compelled to open all your 8 gates for the Akosombo Dam. It should not be the case, because you should know through simulation that if you opened all the 8 gates, this is the amount of water that will be passing through each gate. And considering the spaces available for you, the water will be swallowing persons as a dead. Especially also that for a very long time, no dredging has happened in the lower Volta basin. So government for me truly failed, and that is why it was even much more annoying when you heard ministers speak to, whether it is script or whoever informed them that persons were asked to evacuate and they refused. And the question is, evacuate to where? Where were the havens? Because where the people moved to, Randy, no one can describe that as a haven, a safe haven for them, that government identified for them to move. Because they were not structures to be occupied. They were classrooms. And to speak the way some of them have spoken, that everything is going well according to plan, was a plan indeed for schools to be shut for this long, for people to go and occupy those classrooms that have no louvers, that have no facilities appropriately for human habitation? No. And so a lot truly went wrong in all these spills. And I don't think that it should just end with assurances that we are giving them relief, we're doing this, we're doing that. Proper investigation must go into this matter so that tomorrow it doesn't happen again. We were lucky that it did not affect the entire dam and we only went through a massive spilling. Can you imagine if holding so much water beyond a certain level had led to the collapse of the dam, either partially or fully? What would have happened? And so decision-making process of VRA would seriously have to be reviewed, and that ministry. Because once we were facing this situation, we were equally confronted with another lack of decision on the part of that same sector, where we have to suffer power outages just because of lack of communication, lack of understanding between ECG and GMPC, and the ministry playing its role as the supervisor and the coordinating authority of all the agencies under them. So what more are we waiting to happen? We couldn't coordinate properly for the spilling of the dam. We couldn't coordinate between ECG and GMPC so that we will not experience the kind of power outages that we are experiencing. What again should we wait for to go wrong before we realize that there's absolutely a certain level of maladministration, and the earlier we sit up, the better for us. So, Randy, I'm worried. I haven't heard of direct loss of lives, but I am aware that people's health situation has deteriorated. Some are having serious pressure issues because of the loss they have suffered.
When people's livelihoods are gone.
They are gone. So you may not have had people being swept by the marauding waters, but people's health situation have deteriorated, and we must be watching that somebody may die in the comfort of his home, but that death is related to the loss he or she have suffered. That's why a lot more systems must be put in place psychologically to deal with some of these situations and help. Of course, I've heard my colleague Ablakwa strongly talked about the issue of compensation, and that must be another issue that government should have at the back of its mind, and VRA for that matter. So we wait, we'll be watching. It's still raining. It has not stopped yet in the catchment areas. So if they've issued this statement, they should continue to monitor and be sure that we are not receiving so much water than expected.
All right, so VRA says that the control spillage is ended. We are expecting some allocation of funds. We don't know what specific areas, unless you have some insights into what's going to happen in the budget as far as the Volta Dam spill is concerned. But the spirited individuals and corporate entities who have been there and are contributing, have contributed and are still contributing, are still doing what they have to do. I've spoken about the engineers and planners one, the Fair Sky Group. I've even seen Tobinco support flood spillage victims 1.5 million Ghana cedis worth of items. A number of media houses are also raising funds and raising support for the people. The Just One group of companies have also done theirs. I know that for some of the, we're told that some of the camps do not even have toilet facilities, and I'm aware that the Zoom Lion group with the Ignite Media this week will be sending some support to them in terms of mobile toilets to help them at those camps and all that. Let me take your views on this and the expectations of what government is going to do in the budget, especially after the finance minister himself has embarked on what is supposed to be a fact-finding tour. Maybe this one will be different from the Kita tidal waves one, because when that one happened, it was the Works and Housing Minister who went there, saw everything, assured all of us that there will be something in the budget for the tidal waves, and it was zero. Maybe this time, because the finance minister himself would see something substantial.
Well, Randy, again, good morning. And this is a very sensitive matter that affects all of us. So, in discussing this matter, if you are not careful, and my brother has been quite vociferous in attacking government, in how government has handled this, and it becomes very difficult for some of us. Later did I know that some family members of mine are also affected in this spillage. We regret deeply the impact of this, not only on the people who live there, but the very livelihood of this economy will be affected in a very long time to come. The economic activities of these brothers and sisters of ours also contribute to the food basket of our country. And for this period that they've been deprived by act of nature, that they are displaced, obviously, will go a long way to affect all of us. Let me also join in commending private individuals who had responded bountifully to the support or to the aid of our people. You've mentioned Sky, Zoom Lion, engineers and planners, and many, many more people we cannot mention here. Equally so, there are a number of government institutions, ministries, and agencies that have also done same in responding to this. Randy, all these activities are all ad hoc and it's only temporary. It is not a permanent solution to the challenge we have on our hands as a country. I can understand that when people question a supposed areas as safe havens, and we expect that basic facilities, or to an extent, people are expecting complete infrastructure to house them. Randy, obviously, it is not going to be possible. Looking at the time, the warning signs were coming based on science. And I said here last week that these are all probabilities that it could happen or it may not, or might even exceed the expectation of science, as it were. So clearly, the expectation that schools should have been built at the safe havens for people within this short time, obviously, it was not going to be possible. The essence of safe haven is to prevent loss of lives. That look, for properties and other things, nobody will plan that we are evacuating you unless we are putting in place a permanent a solution for the problem we have along the lower Volta basin. But if the understanding of identifying safe haven is to prevent human casualty in terms of death, protecting lives is concerned, the best, look, Randy, if a disaster occurs today and you go to the scene, the first thing you look for is human life, to protect human life. Of course, I demand the act of lack of some basic things like tents for people to sleep in, because if you identify a school and the school doesn't have louvers and all that, I mean, the best thing is that there's a shelter or look for a space that people could be safe. What do they need there? Common tent that people could sleep in, mosquito repellent, some medical supplies, and some place of toilet. These are basic things that we need in terms of safety. We haven't planned, and let me admit that we haven't planned that these number. We did not even anticipate the impact on the number of people. Look, to the extent that in Kwewu South, my brother OPK's constituency is also affected. I'm sure that per engineering of the Akosomo Dam, it is not part of the catchment area, the VRE. The
Kwewu Adosu is part of Adosu, and Chiamanfu are the banks of the Afram, which is also.
So I'm saying that if you look at the district they oversee, the Kwewu South and Kwewu North are not part of the district they usually have this problem, or it's part of their plan. That is why they didn't even do simulation over that place. So that's why I keep saying that it's a probability matter, and in science it can go way beyond your expectation. We've had these situations in the time. So the immediate thing for government or disaster management is to move people to safe haven, so that you don't lose lives.
Let me just pick your mind on something you raised that. Let's even take those areas that you say were originally not part of it.
Yes.
And obviously, maybe moving forward, we'll learn from that.
Right.
But for the areas where they claim they did a simulation exercises,
right,
for the areas where they said they asked the people to leave, which means that they anticipated.
Fantastic.
It was not spontaneous. Right. It was not by accident.
Right.
They anticipated. They spent money to engage in exercises, simulation and all that.
Right.
Now, what were the measures that were put in place? How were the relevant agencies whose work are related, let's say NADMO and all those other people, or for example, would even as this is a national security matter, how was even national security involved in all of these things? For example, to say that if we're asking the people to move in the event of this, where will they move to? What are the provisions that ought to be there? Because when I read the Mepe Development Authority statement last week, it appears that the 8 places,
the districts,
were actually identified by them, the Mepe Development Association themselves.
Yeah.
And it was only a week ago, so more than a week, let's say 10 days ago, last Friday was 1 week, that the VRA provided them 8 mobile toilets for just one of the 8 places.
So Randy, let me say this to you. You see, when we look at coordination of managing disaster of this nature, I have been in talks with Sergi is my very good friend, he's like a brother to me, and he's the Deputy Director General now. He's been in the place since, and he's been in and out of the place. This is how NADMO is. NADMO has a operational district. That is the district, the local district that we have. You have a number of staff in all the districts. So NADMO by itself, at the local level, knows the banks where these residents are and all that. So they've done the simulation. So there's the essence of the simulation is to see the preparedness and readiness for one evacuation and making sure we don't have loss of life. That is the first priority of NADMO. And to ensure that if the spillage is done and it goes to a certain level, these are the measures you have to take in place. That is where I said that basic needs should be provided. When people stretch the argument of buildings and all that, I think that this is overstretching of the argument.
That's medium to long term.
It's a medium to long term thing. So focus on the immediate term. And that's why I talked about mobile toilets, tents, and basic mosquito medical supply. Those things should be ready on hand at the places they identify. And if possible, get medical staff ready in case of.
So how come all this didn't happen?
So Randy, I'm coming, please. So as we speak now, I haven't seen NADMO's official report yet on this simulation aftermath and all that. That is what I've asked, that I want to see that report. What is contained in that report? Whether the report has been raised by the various districts and NADMO itself. So VRA collaborating, and that's what VRA initially said, they've set aside some fund for the emergency situation if it occurs. Now I'm told that they've even spent more than what they originally set aside for this thing.
They spent on what and at what time?
Yes, of course. That's another question I'm asking. These are legitimate questions that we need to ask ourselves. So when you set up a fund for this, then it should go into certain basic procurement to be in readiness in NADMO warehouses in all the districts that you anticipate that it will affect. We can excuse them in areas that we never originally thought that it could get there. So at least the 8 districts, including 2 in Greater Accra, that had been identified as, how do we call it, epic centers if the spillage happens. These are basic things that we expect that it should be there. What quantity of items of this nature had been provided by NADMO or in their own report? It is not enough to do the simulation and all that. The simulation, as I understand, and per the communication from VRA and NADMO, that the people had been warned. And the response from the people, that on many occasions, they do these warnings year in, year out, and they don't get to see the spillage to that magnitude. So people think that, oh, it's business as usual. And that's what I think that VRA itself, though they did the simulation, did the community engagement and all that, because I've cited letters sent to all these districts, they've acknowledged receipt of this, and they have been fully participating in all this exercise and community engagement and all that. But beyond this, I think because year in, year out, they do these exercises, they want the people relocate from the banks, move to these places and all that. They left it there. That's the most unfortunate part, because like the communities, people did not believe that the water levels will get to that extent. So, I mean, it's a shared responsibility that we must take these concerns seriously. So, NADMO's official report after the simulation and VRA's own report, these are matters that we should be speaking. I can't speak to it because I haven't seen the report to know that details of these items we are speaking about were actually contained. It might be contained in the report, but as to release and who is responsible for funding it might be another matter. VRA themselves had vindicated all of us by saying that the amount of money set aside for this exercise, it's woefully inadequate. And if you see what is going there, obviously, we couldn't have said that we are stockpiling all these equipment, supplies we are sending to the place today in readiness for this. But like for safe havens, first of all, move them there. Even if the things were not there, immediately, and if identify the safe havens, that move so that you don't lose your life. Right as they go, it must start going. So I think that it took about 3 days for corporate Ghana and some state institutions responding. NADMO, I knew, had emptied their warehouse and be sending it there. But they had the intention to do, but perhaps the essentials they need at that material time. I'm not sure NADMO had mobile toilet in their stock to be sent to the people. Obviously, they wouldn't have had that. I'm not sure
that is very easy to procure.
Exactly. Yeah. So, of course, Randy, in the public service, it might take more than a day or two to procure some of this, and even up to about 2 weeks, they haven't provided enough of that for them. I'm happy that some government, it looks like they are sending a lot of food, stuff, clothing, and the rest to the place. But the health side, and I'm happy that Tobinco and Co are also sending medical supplies there. What I haven't heard from the exercise so far is a medical staff being at the site.
But the GMA has been in touch from day one.
From day one.
Yes.
So as to whether we have enough personnel there to be able to administer.
I think I've even seen a report where
to administer,
they're asking for
volunteers.
It looks like 140 health personnel
Fantastic.
have been affected by
this the disaster itself. So Randy, we must admit that
145 health workers.
They themselves have been affected. Yes. So it means we need more volunteers or personnel to be in readiness to even administer the supplies people are giving to the place. Randy, we must come from the background that this is unprecedented in the last 50 years or so, as they said. It happens to many countries. It tells our resolve to be able to fight disaster as it comes. Thankfully, this is not, we haven't lost any life. But if you quantify the amount of money, properties that we've lost, it will take people's lifetime.
So clearly, I hear your call for planning, dispassionate.
Yes,
and I think that's the way to go. But something baffles me, and to be honest with you, something baffles me. Now, for maybe a non-Ghanaian who sits back and is monitoring the situation and sees what is happening, that this is something that has happened in some districts in this country, 11 or 16 districts or so in this country, and then they see that it is not something which happened, took us by surprise. It's something that we anticipated, and the VRA itself says that we asked the people to evacuate. We did simulation exercises and all those things. So it's something that we anticipated. And yet, issues like designating camps, provision of tents, provision of mosquito repellents or even nets, provision of food and obroniwao, provision of mobile toilets where these people would even ease themselves and perhaps take a shower. These things, as basic as they are, we could not put in place for something which was not a nationwide thing. Right. What does it say about us as a country and where we believe that we are in the Committee of Nations and who we think we are?
Randy.
Or who we say we are.
Randy, as we sit here, we may pose all these questions. Again, the bottom line is whether you have the resources to have all these things in ready in case of this. I've seen countries more sophisticated than us. They've been recently in North Africa, Acapulco Bay, the popular Acapulco Bay by Ghanaians. I made a post on it. Acapulco Bay was raised down completely. Yes. They knew.
Yes.
You think that the Mexicans, they don't know that the periodic waves of this nature occurs.
Yes.
In Miami and many other places. These are sophisticated nations.
Yes.
They get displaced. These are the reason why we call them natural disasters.
Yes.
Our resolve, it goes to our funding, our ability to raise our own resources to be able to meet these expenses that you are talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, so these are clearly, it happened before. You remember the Bui Dam area? It happened. We promised to build them shelters away from that time. I think in 2014, thereabout. We haven't been able to put up a single dormitory in case of such nature. So these things expose our planning as a country and funding for disaster management as a whole. So for me, it has really exposed us. And we have this attitude of, oh, last year we said it didn't happen. We've complete disregard for science.
Right.
Yeah, we know this. And our own nature, human beings as it were, there's been many warning. Look, go to, how do we call it, the McCarthy Hills. How many times the state hasn't given warnings to people to stop building on this earthquake zone? You'll find people who are extremely knowledgeable, putting up houses that they know. Because they will tell you, for how many years they've been warning us that it's an earthquake zone and therefore it can kill all of us if it happens. But we know, in Turkey, the report that came after the Turkey disaster, that the authorities had been warned that the kind of structure that should be put there, people disregarded it. But I think that I'm not making excuses for anybody. Whilst we hold government accountable for provision of these supplies to make sure that we are ready for it and all that, human beings, Ghanaians by itself, look, you go to some banks of the river, I tell you, Randy, where people live and the shelter they live in is a temporary thing. Trust me. Because of fishing activity, Kofi knows it is not a permanent structure, it's temporary.
Yeah.
I have a similar situation in my country. It's just a temporary. They go there, work, and they go back to their homes. So some of those people, they know where to go. They've advised them to leave the place, but they won't. And it has been occurring. You go there, you see the shelter where they live, specifically for work purposes, and they go back when the season goes down and all that. So clearly, two things here. Our own culture as Ghanaians, how we pay attention to some information from government or special agencies for that nature. And then, of course, if government had made a pledge to be able to support them to recover whatever they've lost, it might not be complete as it were. I'm told that a lot of money, interministerial committee, how to get farm lands for people, the issue of proper settlement is in the offing. Obviously, in the budget coming, something specifically will happen in the budget. It is not only happening in the budget that matters. It is the releases and to making sure that we go. Because all these things that we are saying, it should protect the dam that we are talking about. Then, when they do dredging, I'm told that there are places that when they have to do dredging, they haven't done dredging in a very long time. And I've been calling for dredging of even the Densu River here. Because the dam had not been dredged for a very long time. A small amount of water, it spills the entire community of Sampaman. It takes them away. But if the dam is dredged properly...
Yeah, you're referring to the Wager Dam.
I'm referring to the Wager Dam here. So the issue of dredging should be taken seriously. I spoke to the Hydro Department of the Works and Housing that they should tell us when last they dredged the Wager Dam. They haven't dredged it in a very long time. So small amount of water, the dam overflows the limit that it has. So that is another problem that they should dredge. I'm also told that some of the communities, if the dam is dredged today, obviously most of them will go, those temporary settlement and all that. But now we are talking about permanent settlement over so many years that have been affected. We have to look at proper resettlement of people along the lower Volta basin. And we are talking about millions of cities. We must all be committed that we are going to do this for the sake of our country to protect the dam and all that. So for now, yes, we may take a swipe at government, but we should not overly politicize this because all of us are affected and it will go a very long way to impact our lives as a country. And that's why I don't like where people try to segregate it, that because it's these people. There's disasters that happen in most parts. And today people of Kwewu, they are also crying that, look, they equally have been affected and all that. So it should not be politicized to the extent that people think that because it's this group of people. That's what I don't want to discuss.
All right, we'll be back shortly.
so many styles to choose, but there's only one sure way to pay.
Momo? Yes. Oh, yes.
Got a payment to make? Just Momo it.
MTN.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ampedu.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sam.
How is business doing?
My business is collapsing.
Why is your business collapsing?
I sold my products and services to my clients on credit, and my debtors are not paying their debts.
Have you heard of Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company operating in all the 16 regions of Ghana?
Not at all.
Mr. Ampedu, all you need to do is to contact them on their customer service line. I recommend Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company to financial institutions, businessmen and businesswomen, other companies, and also individuals. Rosic Consult has 98.4% debt recovery rate. We have professional debt recovery managers. You are assured of swift debt recovery. No recovery, no commission. For Rosic Consult Limited, no more write-offs. And we pre-finance the recovery ourselves.
For over 20 years of serving the world with herbal and alternative medicine, we've been successful in treating complicated medical conditions with a perfect combination of herbal and alternative methods of treatments like homeopathy, naturopathy, reflexology, and many more. We deliver excellent and effective service to people from all walks of life through scientific and traditional means. We have a well-equipped laboratory with advanced diagnostic and treatment devices to help detect your illness, so we know the right medication to be given. At Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital, we are proud manufacturers of our own herbal medication. Our zeal and passion to save lives with our patients at heart and outstanding achievements since 1996 has won us several awards. That is why we say, go herbal, go Amen. We are located everywhere in all the regions. Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital. Allahu Shafi, God is the He.
Step into success with Accra Business School. Boost your career with our prestigious MSc degrees from KNUST. Pick from Human Resource Management, Communication and International Relations, Public Affairs. In just 12 months, our MBA can be yours. Dive into our BSc programs in IT Security and Cybercrime, IT Management and Business and Management, endorsed by top universities in Ireland and Wales. We offer flexible entry, payment and learning options.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say, but as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
Betway is your gateway to a theme park full of gaming excitement. A whirlpool of wonder where your favorite games come to life. Where you can take to the skies with max payouts that reach into the millions. All in the palm of your hand. Visit betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Betway is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Bet responsibly. Betway. Bet your way.
Michelle say. Ah, fe. Ah.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Chocolate Toothpaste. Healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Chocolate Toothpaste. Sankofa.
Yenchi. Kel Chocolate Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Everybody knows Acrobato. And if you know Acrobato, it means you know M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic is my pillar. Let's hear what others are saying about M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. Who will be careful M-Punch one?
Chesena me ankasa me period no say problems wom ntina ma wo ho idea ma me papa chesena nya asem ketewa na me coin point no mo hwe me modem no mo he bibia na so mo meduro me fire no ene ma won kra me nu hofo kwa na mkwan mu a eba
and everything yourself
me ma me no adwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante ene ne ko end point o mama nu a ene ne ho idea watimi asori anante.
That's end point for you. Of Acrobato. Hello. Oh shushu what che. Okay. A free bra wo di end point wa dance. Ah me ko ye no. Me just say my name koye and person my name nyina and me gina sabema na me be for there the one dey nyina jaresa. You heard everything. I have secret. M-Punch is my secret. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. I'm free. Masana say you see you go cashless. Say cashless ya. You say you can be a issue office. You see the power up back. And no so anybody will be here. Set up auto credit. Set up auto credit and do one issue. So what problem be a person used for auto? He answer overcome power up so. And one on to us and be up the so only smartphone and money how. And there's only data and so and it's new memory. And one said, who bring your young phone? Oh, sorry. Who bring your phone? No one direct *226# You are through there. You see the power up no mobile money, Visa card, Mastercard, a BHP you let me say you see the power up. I want to show a down some. Simple.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Still with me on the show, I have the Honorable Kofi Adams and the Honorable Sylvester Tete. But ready to treat your callers to good tunes while you win incredible awards and points by purchasing, renewing, copying, or gifting your favorite caller tunes, and you can win amazing prizes based on your total accumulated points. Yep, build as many points as possible and you can win tons of data to stay connected to the things you love, or you can win an amazing 10,000 Ghana cedis cash prize to splash on your favorite things. That's a perfect way to entertain your callers with music and get rewarded at the same time. Start collecting your caller tunes points today. Visit callertunes.mtn.com.gh and you spell caller tunes with a Z at the end, not an S, Z at the end. Or just dial *1355# *1355# to get started on the MTN caller tune service. Promo lasts till the 7th of November 2023. Terms and conditions do apply. And what does wealth mean to you? Do you want to live like a tycoon? Remember, as God the Mullah got the power. Ghana's newest lottery game draws live on Adom TV at 9 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. daily. Now pick up your phones, tablets, and computers and download the Game Pack Games app on Play Store. You can also play on the website at www.gamepackgames.com or by dialing *946# on all networks. Just choose 4 numbers from 0 to 9. It's easy to play and easy to win. Charlie, make we play this game and make some moolah. Nobody beats our odds in Ghana. Game Pack Games, more moolah, more power. This game is regulated by the National Lottery Authority and is not for persons under the age of 18. Play responsibly. And whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you go, drink Angel Cola, your key to enjoyment. Angel Cola, love it. Ready for something refreshing, great tasting with excellent flavors? Onya, you've got varieties to choose from. Angel Orange for that special occasion. Angel Mango. Angel Peach, refresh your mood. Angel Apple Lime. Angel Drinks produce vitality and maintain fluid in normal balance. Angel Drinks, refreshing, invigorating, and exciting. Angel Drinks are produced by Adonko Soft Drinks Beverages Limited. Angel Drinks taste like our day and is recommended for all, including children. You can reach them on 0244832286 and 050-787-8668. Ayesoko, Betway's cash out just got way better. The enhanced early partial and auto cash out feature lets you cash your bets out early, cash out a portion of your ongoing bets, or even set your bets to cash out automatically. All this to give you way more control over every thrilling bet you place. Sign up today at betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply and is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana, not for persons under 18. Betway, get way more. So let's wrap up on the spillage and then we'll move on to something else. Yes, Kofi.
Thank you, Randy. We talked about those who came in. I think two churches also did so well that deserve mention. The Assemblies of God Church, they were, I think, one of the first to also respond, and the Church of Latter-day Saints also were out there really also supporting, and they must equally be added to the and a lot of others who did it without us knowing, because many went in there. Randy, some concerns raised by my colleague are genuine, we agree. But you see, you call for something, then now you have your same people complain. Because before the visit of His Excellency the President to the disaster area, a visit I originally truly commended him for the step he took, because considering his age and pressure on him to travel from America and land, and the next day you were there, was commendable. And that was why I had serious issues with the Vice President, who was acting president in the absence of the president, who chose to be looking for votes rather than visit a disaster zone. Because, Randy, this is not the first time the country has faced a disaster. You remember the Achimota Melcom disaster. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was then engaged in a campaign in the national competitive elections. He abandoned the campaign in 2012, came down to Accra to visit the disaster zone. Dr. Bawumia was the acting president.
But he went there. He went there. He gave
3 days after
60,000 or so.
3 days after the president has returned and gone to the place before he went. Meanwhile, when the president is leaving the country, he writes to Mr. Speaker that I am leaving the jurisdictions of Ghana, and that as I leave, His Excellency the Vice President is the acting president. So at the time we became aware of the situation, Dr. Bawumia was the acting president. He needed to have been there first. If, like, the president was present and you were waiting for the president to go before you move, I will appreciate that. That you were waiting for your boss to go before you move in. In this case, you were the acting president. He chose an already internal fixed elections to be engaging with the delegates as against coming to do this. But you see, the president, even as I commended him, his speech there was what created the problem of we and them. When people have gathered to listen to you, what it means is that the people have put behind them any partisan or any other consideration. They are prepared to listen to you as their leader. They are prepared to listen to you as their president. So why go stand before them and tell them, if it's about vote, like, I will not be here. and I know in future you will vote for me and MPP. Where from that? In that period of disaster when you should be mourning with the people for the losses that they've suffered, you should be sympathizing and empathizing with them. The president was the one who made that mistake. And when people take him on, what I expect is Honorable Slaitete and co to let us get to the bottom of the issues of persons trying to introduce we and them into the debate. Nobody caused it. Otherwise, the people would not have gathered there. Otherwise, maybe he would have gone there to meet only party persons. But in any case, Randy, the MPP doesn't get 0 votes even in the Tomu area, let alone Volta region by extension. They get over 100,000 votes. And that is vote that is worth celebrating, even if it is 1 vote. As I watched CNN about 4 days ago, the governor of California, he was going to China on an official trip. He got information that some Californians were caught up in this Israel-Hamas-Palestinian situation. He decided to land there and to engage with the family to show that, look, if you are in trouble, I am with you. He didn't say that, oh, because it's just one person and there are a lot of other Californians back in California, he was just flying through. So, Randy, clearly speaking, he should put the blame right squarely where it belongs in terms of this segregation of people feeling that, oh, is it because it is us, that is why you are acting this way. Let it go where it must go. Don't make it as if it is the people themselves who just decided to do what it is that they have done. Then, of course, he is very right that, Randy, if you identify safe havens, we are not asking you to construct plush buildings for them. If you know that truly you were prepared, that if you spill, this is what is going to happen. And even if it is just 100 people that have to move, those 100 people must at least have some minimal comfort. Simple louvers to the windows of a classroom that you identify to hold them, whether it is for 1 week or 2 weeks, that one too you can do. Because if you fix the windows and even the disaster doesn't put them there, it benefits the people ultimately. It benefits the students who will be using the place. After all, John Dramani Mahama, when Ebola came to West Africa, didn't he build Ebola centers? Did we experience a single case? Subsequently, when COVID came, did we not utilize those facilities because he has prepared something in anticipation? So you don't wait for it to happen before now you'll be running around and say, oh no, now we have to look for emergency toilets, we have to do this, we have to do that. That is why I continue to insist that the preparedness of government and VRA was poor as far as this matter is concerned. A lot of losses have been suffered, and already those who love tilapia, Randy, it's impacting on them. Because last week, I'm told that a piece of tilapia that used to go for about 40 cedi has jumped to 70 already. Because in Ghana here, a chunk of our tilapia is coming from the lower Volta basin area. That's where they produce for our market. Now, they are no longer harvesting. They are no longer, because many of them have lost, even including their hatcheries. They've lost it. So you can imagine, like Sly said, the impact it will have on our food security. The maize farms that have been swallowed by the water in the upper Volta basin, the groundnut farms, the cassava farms that have been swallowed, and so on and so forth. So we should seriously begin to look at alternatives whilst working to support farmers in the lower Volta basin and upper Volta basin back on their feet when the water recedes. We should begin to look at alternative sources of cultivating more food in areas that can immediately begin lean season cultivation, so that at least we can reduce the impact of what the food security situation come next year. And I once again will continue to empathize with them and to thank the individuals and corporate institutions who have come through to help. It's not easy in these very difficult times because a lot of businesses are not doing well. We are taxing them left, right, center. They are suffering, but still they saw the need to move in and help in the manner that they have done. Ibrahim Ama of Jata Cement, First Sky Group and their chief executive, Tobinko, as you rightly said. We continue. I hear another company, Mauns. He is also doing some roads in the Fujoku areas of the North Tong area. All these persons deserve. All deserve commendation. And of course, Chief Doliwura has also done some support to them. We thank all of them for what it is that they have done.
Randy, let's wrap up on this one.
Yeah. Yes, on this one, let me say, and I've maintained that the president's statement was in response to some reckless statements made by some leading members of the opposition from the region. And it was only referring and responding to them and telling the people. Now look, I'm not here because of politics. One, it is my responsibility as the president of the republic to do what I'm doing. And I'm not here because of vote, as people were speculating. And that if it were to be vote, nobody knows what your voting pattern will be tomorrow. So those things must be put to the banner. So you must look at the remote cause of this. And I think the president did well by putting those people who made those reckless statements to shame. Now look, this is not a time to be doing politicking, pitching the people against one another. There are 140 something health workers that were displaced. You think they are all Votarians? As I sit here, I've just told you about my family members that were also caught up in the unfortunate situation that we have on our hands.
Can you mention one person who made a statement that the president was responding to?
Please, Kofi, I heard.
Mention just one person.
Honorable Jifa.
She spoke after the president have spoken.
No.
She spoke after the president. He came here to insult us and he brought nothing.
Please.
Honorable Jifa spoke after the president have spoken. So you say he's responding to it. So, I'm give us one person. Just one person.
I don't like this equalization because for me, I think what is important is finding the lasting solution. All these call noise, scoring political point and all that. The most important thing is the statement the president put out there.
You said he was responding to some NDC high-ups.
Please,
for
Kofi, please.
Why you mentioned it?
Would you stop this? So you think that they were all quiet until the president went there?
So give us one.
So let me say that all this, we've had situations of this. That's why I don't want to. We had situations of this nature before. What happened? So please, let us all develop this country as one people. I don't like the divisions, these people. Look, like I said, there are many other tribes in the Volta region that are caught up in this situation. If you should go in and begin to do the background checks on the people who are affected today, you will shock how many other tribes you find living in the Volta region. For instance, in my constituency today, check the population and housing census. So if something happens, you say it's only Gans that are living there. You'll be shocked to know the backgrounds of people who are living there. So let us be circumspect when we deal with matters of this nature. It helps nobody. And the president's statement was right on spot, that I'm the president. It is my responsibility to the good people of this country, irrespective of where you are coming from. So voting pattern should not be part of our conversation because one is here or one is there. Today, in Ashanti region, where we get our vote from, the Asafo interchange, haven't you seen a lot of demonstrations against this government that we haven't done the interchange? Kwabre, where we have the more vote for this party than any other constituency. There's been demonstrations all over. Are you saying that in spite of their voting, we are mistreating them as well? No. It boils down to resources and all that. So clearly, let us stop that.
I'm sure that I have.
And finally, yes. Let me say that finally, all the relief items that are going to the place is only temporary. We must also mention the effort government institutions, when people talk of governance or government as it were, government is not only the president and the vice president. Agencies and heads of institutions that are appointed to administer for and on behalf of the president and the good people of this country are equally part of government. So the happenings there that people want to see the president, that as if the president is the only sole embodiment of the government, is misplaced. And people,
I think the only thing is that when there is a government and government is responding to a situation, it must be a coordinated response.
No, but you see,
we don't when you have individuals, public spirited individuals and organizations who, on the basis of what they see and what they have heard, try to reach
government is coordinating its effort towards mitigating the impact of this, and they've put up a statement. It's put up an interministerial committee. The president announced a number of interventions that are going to happen. So if you have agencies of government,
Sly, to be very honest with you, and I want to really move forward with this thing. We're expecting something concrete from the budget and all that. But to be honest with you,
but Randy,
when something like this happens to a people, what happens to them from day one till when the interministerial committee is ready to roll out whatever it intends to roll out in the budget is as important as what will be contained in the budget.
Of course.
So when you have a situation where something like this happens, and it turns out that as a country, we have not even made provision for temporary places for these people to relocate to. We have not made provision.
Randy, if you are
for
bringing
basic
that,
things.
if you are bringing this
we have not made provision.
Randy,
No, I'm just.
But it is not for nothing. No, but it's not for nothing. But this is a conversation we had. This is a conversation we had. No, Randy, this is a conversation we are having.
Nothing
that we are having a conversation we are having now.
No, you don't get a point I'm making. I'm saying that as we speak today, Sly.
What do you mean?
Sly.
The things that are going there.
As we speak, it is like we are in day 16. Day 16.
Yes, actually 16 or 17.
Yeah, so from the 15th, we are talking about day 16 of this particular issue. If at day 7 or day 8, when the people of Mepe, they themselves have identified 8 places, and it is only a week and a half ago that they had 8 mobile toilets at one place, at one of the 8 places.
Randy.
And then prior to this, you have government officials like a minister at public functions
Randy,
calling them out. No.
Please.
Slide.
Is it what?
Slide. It is important when a minister of state at a public function will call out the people who are in this distress and say that they also ought to be blamed for not heeding to the call to evacuate, and then talking about the consequences of what has happened and how it is going to impact on the cost of treatment of water and how that is going to affect the public purse.
Randy, I haven't seen or heard that.
How compassionate and intelligent a leader.
Randy is a good person. You see him playing. I have no reason to doubt you. I have no reason to doubt you. But like I said, I haven't seen. Have you seen it? You might have seen it. But I have no doubt. I have no reason to doubt.
In fact, the Chief Justice.
I have no reason to doubt.
Is reported to have. I've asked Annie to get me the exact tape.
You see, good. So you are asking for the exact tape.
I'm saying that the Chief Justice is reported to have responded to Yawin Sako when he made a statement at also a public function about the issue of the people not heeding to the call to evacuate, leave the place. You know, I'm waiting for the exact tape.
No, but Randy, the conversation we are having this morning, I've said time and again, and even Kofi and many other people, that some of the people are living in temporary habitations for their work on daily basis, right? For their work on daily basis. And they have their homes where they go to and all that. As we push for government intervention for mitigating their losses and all that, we also call on people, not only the people of Volta region, but all of us. And that's why I even cited the McCarthy Hills earthquake alert that comes and all that. And there are many places that government and institutions of state are giving red alert of people's continuity in those places. So and these are generic advice that we give to all of us as a people. You will find people that look, today is going to rain heavily. Take caution by going out. They won't. And all these are things, I don't know the context with which the minister spoke as a matter of fact, but I have no reason to doubt what you are saying. If that is the case, then it's the most unfortunate. However, government is going to spend, and that is why it's a natural disaster. You want to spend the money anyway. If you have the money, what is the essence of keeping the money? It's for the good of our country. And me, I'm looking for medium to long-term permanent settlement of the banks.
Government is broke.
Oh, but that strikes me.
What are you saying? If you declare bankruptcy, you are broke. Please.
Anyway, we need to move on, but let's just do this quickly. Who's watching us from the States says that on the issue. No, Mark Kojobuafo, not Kojobuafo.
I told my good friend. Where is he? I've missed him on the show.
He's around.
Tell him to come. I've missed him.
It says, on the issue of Vice President not visiting the flood areas earlier, me thinks the President might have told him to wait till he visits first. In any case, security clearance was needed before any higher up could visit in such situations. Then he says, do you remember when Accra got flooded and a lot of people died at a Gulf gas filling station? President Mahama had been invited to ILO conference in Switzerland as a main speaker. We were all waiting in Geneva, only to be told he had cancelled his visit because of the disaster in Accra. That's the mark of a leader. His presence in Accra couldn't bring to life the dead, but at least he stayed in Accra to sympathize with the bereaved. All right. So our time is up. We need to go. But quickly, still on the budget presentation. And I'll zero in one thing. I've seen the expectations. Businesses list e-levy, COVID-19 levy among 5 top taxes killing their operations. That's a KPMG budget survey, and they think that something must be done about this. Of the people that were surveyed, 76% were the view that the e-levy was a killer. 68% COVID-19 levy, 68% import tariff, 62% petroleum levy, and 51% growth and sustainability levy. These are all levies that are existing. Now, the businesses was also called for a review of the free SHS. And they say we suggest revising the policy to permit financially able parents to contribute to the cost of SHS education while ensuring continued free access to needy students. And businesses have also urged government to simplify processes for business registration. That's also an issue that, so these are expectations. Now, over the weekend on Saturday, I was privileged to be the guest speaker at the 92nd speech and prize giving day of my alma mater, Academy. And it was on the theme provision of sustainable school infrastructure for impactful education, a shared responsibility. And so in looking at the issue and contributions of all stakeholders, I mean, from the founders of the school to past and current governments, I mean, a lot has been done. I mean, from 1931 in Jamestown to 68, the present site and all that. But interestingly, as we speak today, there are 4,500 students at Accra Academy alone. 4,500. Out of these, 3,000 are boarders. 3,000 are boarders. And we know the double track system. So with a track that is in school now, about 2,300 of them are boarders. They use the same dining hall that we used almost 40 years ago. And so they do what is called quadruple track. So a group goes into the dining hall, others wait for their turn, they go, they finish, these guys go, they finish, these guys go. There are only 7 halls of residence for all these 2,300. When there were not more than 700 in a boarding house. And this has to do with Form 1 to Upper 6, you know, and then the classrooms and all that. I mean, even for supervision, the teachers and all that. So I made a point about the issue of Get Fund from 2000. I mean, Get Fund is turned out to be the fund that is relied on for infrastructure and all that. We know in 2017 there was a capping and realignment which set aside 25% of all of such funds, I mean, for use by government for other purposes. 2018, we had the collateralization of a part of the Get Fund for this $1.5 billion CD-denominated bond stroke loan, which was supposed to accelerate infrastructure development and ultimately end double track. This was 2018. 2023, we still have double track. In 2022, December, there is now what they call the enhanced capping and realignment, where now the capping has moved from 25% to 70%. This obviously has constrained the GET fund in terms of the provision of infrastructure and all that. Yes, I mean, I've spoken about how all students and others can contribute. I made some proposals and all that. Now the contribution of parents. You know, by the SHS policy, the schools are not expected to collect anything from parents or charge parents for anything in this regard. But over the last 2 years or so, we all know that the schools have openly been asking those students and parents to contribute to the feeding and other expenditure of students. And nobody has been sanctioned because the reality has hit everybody. And so the issue of the review of the SHS policy is more pronounced than ever. The issue of the capping and realignment of the policy, I'm asking government to take advantage of what is going to happen in November, the budget statement, to try and deal with it. Now I'm informed that, in fact, there's a private members bill which is locked up somewhere at the ministry or the committee level. And that private members bill, which I think is at the instance of the ranking member on education, yes, is also to deal with this issue of decapping of it. But it looks like there's a pushback from the executive. So it has not come back to Parliament. Let's quickly look at this issue with respect to the budget.
Well, Randy, first and foremost, I think it's dawned on everybody, as you said, that when a call for review was suggested, even when very known educationists like Professor J.S. Jangma and co were all calling for it, nobody wanted to listen. At that time, a review was equated to counseling. Today, at least, it's dawned on those persons and they have realized that there's truly a need for review. And some of them have gone quiet and now have allowed parents and all students to feel the space. And that is why there's a certain level of quietness. But Randy, the quietness we are experiencing is only also because some component of education is being met. The one that would let students make so much noise, and which is the food. When it comes to infrastructure, as you've said, for over a period, not much has gone into infrastructure. That's why Accra will still be depending on a dining hall that was serving less than 1,000 students when you have almost 3,000 students as what? Boarders. Because what should have gone into infrastructure development is what is going into the daily expenses, and which is wrong. We must all look at that. If we don't deal with that situation, so that GET fund will go into supporting what. But the truth of
the matter is that historically, we have not done enough in terms of providing the infrastructure as the years and decades moved on. And so it's a bit more serious and pronounced today. However, I agree that it's been compounded. That's the point I make. It's been compounded by some of the decisions that we are taking today.
Randy, and it was made worse when in 2018, the Dachi bond was floated ostensibly to pay for some of these debts that have accrued in the area of what gets on. Monies were collected. The bonds were raised, but the contractors are still owed. So even some of them who have managed to complete some infrastructure are now locking those things up, whether at the basic level or even secondary level, and not allowing schools to have access to those facilities. I saw one in the Upper East region where a contractor went sucking keys from the classroom to lock up because it's not been paid. Meanwhile, 1.5 has been collected in the name of that, and you're supposed to be using GET fund proceeds that come yearly to be servicing those bonds, except for this DDEP thing that they did and leading to the suspension of some of the payments. So government needs to act and make sure that this, at least decap, make the funds available to Get Fund, monitor them, and make sure they use it the way it was actually intended to be. As for the taxes, for a government that sang from, from moving from taxation to production, now introduce all manner of obnoxious taxes, including the growth and sustainability tax, which tax companies and institutions on monies they have made before what? Tax. You tax them on the gross before you even apply other taxes. Randy, if this is not anti-growth, if this is not anti-business, if this would not shut a lot of businesses up, what more will do it? And so it's a genuine call that if you didn't do it, if you have punished them over the period, at least in your last budget, try and realign and take off some of these very obnoxious, extremely obnoxious taxes that have been introduced, for which the businesses are crying. Some are calling for help. At the time they expect to be helped, you are rather taking the little oxygen off them. Then you come around and you hear all kinds of songs being sung. And I believe whilst you were away, Doc, a gentleman in Wale Wale did a proper video. I don't know if you've had opportunity of airing it, exposing the lie of watermelon processing factory that a panelist here, Honorable Nana Akomia, suggested
so that's an old one.
Yeah, was employing a number of persons. It came out clearly that that is not the case. The rice factory that was considered to be one of the 1D, 1F factory, the owner has come out clearly to also debunk that, not even a Pessoa, and that in clearing their equipment, they were not even helped. I hope that they will listen to the cry of businesses and do something about these obnoxious taxes. Take some of them off and let them begin to have some little oxygen and space to be able to grow.
All right.
Interesting. Randy, I think that if you look at let me end where Kofi, we are all in this together and we'll continue to strive to ensure that businesses survive. We've had a trajectory of businesses relocating from this jurisdiction to others on the back of some pertinent things they were not getting. I think the issue of 1D, 1F, yes, is the same parliament you find our colleagues when exemptions are granted companies, we begin to question it, and to the extent that people have raised this matter on the floor of the House and all that. So I'm not surprised. At one breath, they are asking that they should be assisted. And that same policy under which companies are, because you go through a process, you apply. There are a lot of barrage of requests pending before the Finance Committee. As we go, I know it will come up again. And to the extent that people are looking at the impact of the exemptions we are granting the 1D, 1F companies vis-a-vis their overall contribution to the economy and job creation and all that. These are yes, they've passed a new law on taxation, but that specific policy
to apply.
Yes, so that is, I mean, it is on the back of these concerns. So as you say that the gentleman has said and all that, they should have advised him that a new law on taxation.
He did it when the law hadn't been passed.
But it goes through a process. A lot of them are lying before this same August House for grant of that permit for them to assess it and all that. So clearly, I think that
wouldn't they be covered by?
Let me talk about Get Fund.
Yeah, wouldn't they be covered by? How do you call it? Okay, I'll get a term.
Yeah.
Just move on.
On this issue of Get Fund, Randy, if I tell you the number of infrastructure that had been added on to senior secondary schools across the country by virtue of Get Fund collateralization to have money to do this. Kofi, let me say that before MPP came into office in 2017, there were debts at the Get Fund, and there's been series of procurement and ongoing project as a matter of fact. So if you find a contractor that is owed today, it doesn't mean that the singular collateralization of a portion of their income means that Get Fund ought not to have owed any contractor at all. That cannot be true. However, if we are to do the audit of where these monies had gone to, a report had been sent to Parliament year on about how these monies had been used. The incident of Accra Academy, if you come to my constituency, I have a similar incident of 2 schools in my NASEC and then Christian Methodist, densely populated and all that. But there's been a lot of add-on infrastructure. If you go to NASEC today, you will see the Get Fund project in that school. The population is increasing. We will have this problem as we go. That's brought about the double track system. And now, Randy, I can tell you a lot of the schools have been taking off the double track system because of provision of infrastructure that have been put there. Schools like Accra, the most sought after Ivy League school, grade A schools, we should turn our attention to them, because when we're doing this, I believe that some of them did not have enough. But rather, if you look, you have a student population that you need to make an intervention between a dining or assembly hall and then classroom and other things, lab, and you turn your attention to those ones first. There are schools that did not even have assembly hall or dining hall. Now they are building multi-purpose. The same hall that they use for dining can be used for assembly hall and all that. A lot more have been built in many schools that people are even saying that it is the capacity of which these assembly or dining halls can take. They are way below it. But looking into the future, the population growth and all that, my take is that yes, the review for free SHS. I mean, nobody is saying that if you roll out the policy for a long time, you don't sit back to even analyze and review the policy. I mean, it's part of normal managerial practice that you do. But your call for review and what you did to other policies of this country, obviously, it scares a lot of people. Because when we're doing the 4-year cycle of SHS, you were to review, when you reviewed it, you scale it down. So the fear of parents and good people of this country. Now, when the NDC talks about review, it means it's subject to total cancellation. I mean, but if you are coming clear that there are pertinent issues that are being raised today, and I'm sure I have spoken against this centralization of food procurement, where the schools have to go to a central point to cut the food stuff, and those who don't even have vehicles, and it delays and all that. When heads of schools were procuring their food, as it were, though there were some irregularities, that I think that we should work to improve that one. They have their local economy and their local suppliers that they deal with, that this issue of food shortages were not seen. But now that we are doing centralized procurement, they will tell you that most of the schools, they have their food staff at the regional offices to go and cut. But because they don't have vehicles, it delays and all that. These are things that, if you roll out a policy, you have to look at the population of the schools, and then the role of old student associations in the schools themselves. We pride that. Look at what is happening with the National Science and Maths quiz today. You see the sentiment of every old boy or girl about their schools. The same sentiment people use to assist the schools and all that. There's a one-story building at Accra. My nephew went there. I think which year was that? The Parent Teacher Association, I think 2015, they put up that building. When you are driving through the Accra,
yes.
Yeah, I was in that PTA meeting. The decision was reached, and we all contributed to put up that single-story dormitory.
But the free SHS policy,
yes, they won't be able. You can levy to continue. So these are concerns that some schools have existed, like Accra Academy, 92 years. It produced the creme de la creme of our society, and people are wealthy. They can do this. But the situation where heads of some schools had turned that into a compulsory demand from students to the extent that some kids are sent home on the basis of non-payment of PTA dues. These are concerns. I mean, it didn't come in a vacuum. It came on the back of some information that the managers of our school had. And I think it's important that we address all these things. But the schools that had existed and had grown for 70 years, 75 years, that have produced a number of prominent citizens of our country should be given some space to be able to help. This placement of schools, because I went to Ghana National College, I may want my child to go to Ghana National College by dint of school placement, and I'll be putting my investment in that school. The old boys and girls who are in good standing in supporting the school don't have the opportunity for this protocol system for their people to be sent to the school. It's also a demotivation to people to be able to contribute to the schools. So nobody says that a policy can never be reviewed whatever form or shape it takes for how many years you practice it. I mean, it's not even a good managerial instinct that you can experiment. But I think that there's been rampant court. I have also said that the mission schools, we should look back. I mean, there's people who are paying for their war schools in private schools in this country. It means a lot more people given opportunity can pay. What are the schools that they can pay and send their awards to the school so that they lessen the burden of government having to pay for accommodation, tuition, feeding 3 times and all that. It's a huge burden on government. So if the call has come that we should really look at some of these things so that we lessen the burden on government, people can afford, and those who can afford, we should devise a scheme based on everybody has how do we call it, a TIN number, and it's linked to your activities. If we follow that, we can identify parents who can actually pay by virtue. And if you pay, you can tie that to their tax filing and all that. Then it becomes a proper channel to develop. So we can share ideas and be able to do this properly. Everybody wants to have the grade A school for their awards because of the performance. But Randy, I can tell you some grade C schools are equally doing well today. But it means the investment that is going now around the country, it's also yielding results for the good of our country.
No, just to commend you, it's not an easy thing to be identified by your school to be the main speaker at such an august occasion like 92nd speech day of the school, and it tells that you have grown your art of doing things, and I cannot leave here without commending you for what it is that you are doing and how you have helped raise high your school and its image. Except that I think the other boys say they are waiting for you people to come to National Maths and Science.
We won the quiz by the stock exchange. on business.
So you are good at business. That is your area.
Even this one. Did you watch the semi-final? Did you watch the semi-final?
No, I couldn't watch the semi-final.
Randy, I mean,
this is a defense on your invitation.
We lost narrowly at the semi-final.
They are good at business.
You know, my defense
at the secondary school level, it is only science.
That is my defense all the time.
It is only science that is studied.
My school, we are good.
Well, we agree that you are winning.
A school says it's a science school.
Another one
a science quiz.
Another one is business school.
But let's it's always my defense. Anyways, it's always my defense.
Like do a gospel quiz and see what the seminary schools. Anyway, congratulations to present.
To present, you've done so well.
What you guys have done is phenomenal.
Yeah, 8 times.
My brother Derek Alma keeps pushing me, challenging you for congratulate us. Anyway, and so my kids attended the Brig Girls, but she ended up marrying a Motowner, not a Pre-Second.
You know, yesterday I was in Kufuridia and we met Domai Hene. I was at the meeting with the communication committee and the ministry. Then said Kwame Champon.
Yes.
Is a Pescoba.
Yes.
Yeah, he told the chief that after the group photograph, there are some Pescobas here. The chief himself is also a Pescoba. So they had to corner themselves. They said, oh, here too, you are bringing
It's everywhere.
Anyway, so guys, thanks for joining me, and we'll be monitoring what happens in Parliament today. And congratulations to the 92-year group. Also commissioned a renovated visual arts block for the school at the cost of 800,000 cedis. Well done to the 92-year group led by the President Kwame Odoe Dankwa, his executives and the subcommittees as far as the planning committee for the speech day is concerned. The headmaster, the chairman of the board of governors. You know who the chairman of the board of governors is?
No.
Justice Doche.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Wilson Ter is a former immediate past chairman of the board of governors, the insurance guru, and then Ambassador Chris Bodo.
Okay, Chris
Bodo.
Bodo.
Yes, he was a special guest of ours, also an old boy.
Okay.
Yeah, so all of you, congratulations, and it was a really great ceremony. Of course, My wife Tessa, who was also riding with me there. Up next, GMB Trends.
Ghana, KNUST ISWAM, Republic Welfare Limited, a subsidiary of Republic Bank Ghana, presents Women in Business Conference. Are you a young woman entrepreneur with a small business or medium-scale business? You can't miss this amazing program coming up at Cafe Banoa Jowulua Crown on the 30th of November 2023, 9 a.m. sharp. Learn about loan financing, access to loans. All these benefits await you. Don't miss this amazing opportunity. Investment is a cool 1,000 Ghana cedis. Covers all course materials, coffee break, lunch, networking. See you there.
Yamawakwa about the button Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories. Ahadie, a bando KSC near Wakadia. Ubenya biwa. Kabian in the house, any new here. Yansu ye wo hwenim de fu a obeso anu yi amao. Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories ye dwumedie de. Eye 24/7 o. Ye siesie wo engine, wo brake, battery, yesesa wo tire. Se bando car wash dia. Ye wo abefun fidie bi ti se steamer ye de horo car engine abra nsuo nko engine nim. Ye san ye detailing metre se ye betwetwe car no mu ba bia amao. Ye wi a ya san polish car na ma o kama. Enya we no monko ye san to car batteries, tires, rims, any de keke kan. Manadum Auto Fix and Accessories ema o car ensi ne dadem na enwu adwuma ma o. Hwehwe ye chira kwan wo dansuma na sorry dan ho a ene KFC bon hwani mu e won kran. Se wo information anansem bi se bia 024-651-9369. Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories. My
son, there's more blessing in giving than receiving. When you fear for you and couple the makers in
The pneumatological abrasion of the Lord revealed unto me this night that me and my household should go out into the world and bless the world.
Makers Electronics Company Limited. Up to 67% discount. Our selected appliances.
This is what I call quintessential immaculatability.
The Makers Electronics Company Limited. Our Taifa Burkina Highway. Amasama Zongo Junction. At the K Pharmacy Dining. Oyer Fateman Boga Junction. Ashaman Valco Flat. Kumasi. Ahinema Kokobin. Asafu Bwachi Hospital Junction. Sakrani. Number 9 Market.
Tell mom and dad about the Makers Blessing Attack program
from 0552 222 253 and 0552 222 254. Terms and conditions apply.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Time to check out what is happening on social media with Desi, the star boy. Why are you excited?
Oh no, I had the earlier conversation about Accra being a business school and all that. Damascus is an art school.
Huh?
Damascus is an art school.
Okay, so you won which art competition?
We produce artists and actors. All right, so Doc,
yes.
It's time for trends, but I want us to begin with a prayer, and we'll begin from Achimota School.
Okay.
Yes, I want us to hear some prayers from them, so that the Lord can open the way for us. Okay, as we have prayed, now I can move on.
Mm-hmm.
And we're beginning on a rather sad note from South Africa, where an incident happened in the Church of Pentecost, a branch in South Africa, where during service and robbers came in to the church, and that was very disturbing. So you see the visuals on your screen, but severe discretion is advised. So that was when the preaching was going on and all that. But then the Ghanaian embassy in South Africa has released a statement that they are working to make sure that they find a solution to this. And so that is what happened in South Africa. It says that notice to the Ghanaian community in South Africa, that's the High Commission of Ghana in South Africa, says that the mission is working with the church in cooperation with the South African police to ensure the speedy and safe release and return of the victim to his family. So one of them was kidnapped by the people there. So really, really sad situation. That really must be frightening. During church service and that happened. So that has been trending on social media. People have been talking about it. Yes, and so yeah, just had to let you know that. Well, moving away from that, so let me get back to the NSMQ, the National Science and Maths quiz, the grand finale that took place yesterday, where it was between Presec, who had won 7 before the final yesterday, and also there was Opoku-Ware and also Achimota School. And Presec came out tops. The gap was really, really wide, and so they say that God is great. And God is faithful. So the 8 in there. So it brings my mind to a night that a lot of 8 were happening. Presec 8, Messi 8, Ballon d'Ors. Are we going to have another breaking the 8?
But for all the ones that you mentioned, which one? They all just set new records.
New records.
It is not as if somebody has done something and they are emulating or breaking it. They are being pace setters.
Okay, so this one to the 8, if they go for it again, then it will be breaking 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish you well.
Wish you well.
Yeah, I wish you well.
All right, so see some crazy scenes. Look at this teacher. You could see how I don't know. He was too. That's what the video. Charlie, don't use your attention, calculations and prayers. But here's a chemistry teacher at Presec, and he's been helping the students in the preparation for the NSMQ. So big shouts to him and all Presecans. It was a good day, good one for them there. So Look, is there anything you wanna?
The presenters who are disturbing my phone.
With
the Frank Edu of Calbank, he's another day. He sent me, our God is great.
So if they win number 9, what would you write? If they win number 9, what would you write?
Maybe our God is nice.
Yeah!
Or our God is a knight.
Okay, yeah. True. But yeah, so
I'm sure today, Good Evening Ghana will be another day show.
Oh yeah.
Tonight. National Science and Maths quiz.
Today.
But that we are do much.
So today, women who went to Volta will be behind and have to produce the Odadie show tonight. And let's wrap up with Lionel Messi because he won his 8th Ballon d'Or and this is going to be his last. This is his last. So yesterday he came up tops. Also, Haaland won the striker of the year. Also, Jude Bellingham won the young player of the year. So congratulations to all the Messi fans out there. 8, that's a lot. I don't know who can equal that in the coming years, but let's see how it goes. So Messi winning that yesterday. So Doc, that's it really with what's trending today. It's all right, SMQ.
Mr. Frank, this is their box number. Their postal box number is 98. They've done the 8, so the 9 is next.
Hey. Good morning, Tamasco Headmaster.
Volta, you know, first round. When these people get us.
Opoku too. Opoku
Oh, why are they there?
Boss, they should have, if they knew they were going to do this, should have let PC come.
Why? What happened to the injunction? It didn't work.
Well, yesterday, Christmas just asked the question. The guys answered 10%.
Look, there's a quiz on the capital markets. It's sponsored by the Ghana Stock Exchange. And it's open to secondary schools. In fact, in 2016, when Accra Academy won for the first time, we beat Presec in the final.
Wow.
Yes.
Congratulations to Accra.
Everybody is focused on science and math, but there are different quizzes for senior high schools going on.
Yes. When they did the Creative Art Awards for senior high schools, Tabasco.
Massa. Stop it.
Okay, so that's it for the trends today. And thank you so much all who came through for the Pink Clinic over the weekend where we felt the boobs. And
how did it go?
Oh, it was great. It was great. A lot of.
Is that why you did what?
We felt the doctors felt the boobs.
Okay.
Not like me asking me.
Okay.
So yeah, for that brilliant one.
Were the ladies from here there?
Oh, some of them.
Media?
Yeah, some of them were there, but most of them were
they
from
got
the hall.
felt.
Yes.
Okay.
The doctors felt them.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Because it was through the boobs.
And everything was
okay. Okay. It was fantastic.
Right.
So kudos to all the partners who came on board. Yes, we thank God. Today's 31st. Hey, then
the last day of
October is gone.
Yes.
I've got 2 months of Christmas. Allah.
It was 7 weeks.
Oh. Okay. That's dope.
Why? What is different about Christmas?
Oh, we get house we go do.
Oh, is it not the same Mabuko from and Jimmy Christmas? What else?
I need the elevator.
Is there a calipo service? How much? How much? One calipo. One calipo. Okay. All right.
Someone said that's what the president drank before then.
But at that time, what was the price?
On that note, have a great day from the Accra.
Anyway, all right. So I'm next Metro Sports.